everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing my November wrap-up. So in case you haven't noticed, I got a new camera. I got the Canon T5i. I'm super excited about it. I love it. It has the little flip out screen so I can see if you can actually see me. It has the autofocusing lens. It's just perfect, and I got this for my birthday because my birthday was November 30th. So I asked for some money towards it from my parents, so it's going to be kind of my birthday and Christmas present. So I didn't really end up getting many books for my birthday, but I still will be doing a birthday book haul because I did still get some. I'm just awaiting one package to come in the mail. I'm sorry that I haven't been as active as I usually am. I'm just super swamped with finals and work. There's not time to breathe or sleep, let alone film videos. So you get the point. So I ended up reading a total of 12 books, I think, in November, which is super awesome because I had a bunch of papers in November, so I don't know how I did it, but I did. So yeah, let's get into the books I read in November. Woo. So the first book is actually one I'm currently reading, and that is Guilt by Catherine Longshore. I haven't picked it up in like a week. I'm kind of loosely currently reading it just because of finals and stuff. But yeah, I have been obsessed with the TV show Reign lately. So that's about like Mary Queen of Scots, and I just want to read more about court life and everything, and this takes place in the court of Henry VIII, I think. I'm only like 2 chapters in, but it's pretty good so far. I don't really have that many thoughts. So the first book I read this month, I actually read in fulfillment of the Year-a-thon challenge for this month, which was to read a fairy tale retelling. So I read Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I think I gave it a 3.5 stars, maybe 3.75. I had such a hard time rating this book. I did review it on this channel, so I will link that here and down below if you want to go and check that out, so then you can have more coherent thoughts, because yeah, I don't even know. But this book is absolutely gorgeous, like the cover and then the spine even, and even under the jacket, it's so nice. See, it has the rose. Oh my god, it's a really pretty book. Yeah, just watch my review if you want to know more about it, because I really can't articulate my feelings right now, so yeah. Then after that, I had just finished filming my unfinished series video, which made me realize that I have a lot of series that I have started but not finished. So I decided to pick up the second book in a series, so I picked up Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book in the Grisha trilogy. I do plan on reading Rune and Rising soon, and then I will do a full series review on this. So once I do that, I will link that here, but also down below, but it probably won't be until like January, February. But yeah, so this was a very good book, but it was kind of slow through the middle. It took a while for the action to happen, but once it did, it was really awesome. I don't know what they're gonna do with the final book, but you were introduced to a lot of awesome characters in this book, which I loved, so I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. And if you didn't know, this series is a high fantasy series which takes place in Ravka, which is kind of a reimagining of Russia, and it's just really cool. You should read it. Next, I had to read a book for school, so I picked up Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I had to read this for my early romanticism class, and I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really like Jane Austen's writing. It's very different, and it's very unique. I really liked this book. I don't know. I will be reading more Austen in the future, for sure. So then after that, I decided to read a whole entire trilogy because why not? I have nothing better to do. So I read The Darkest Minds trilogy by Alexandra Bracken. And if you didn't know, which I'm sure you did, the titles actually make a sentence. So it's The Darkest Minds, Never Fade in the Afterlight. That is just so cool. So cool. So first I read The Darkest Minds, then the second book, Never Fade, and then the final book, In the Afterlight, which just came out on October 28th. So this series is a dystopian trilogy that takes place in the US, and it's after this disease has kind of ravaged all the kids in America. So a bunch of the kids died, but the surviving kids, they have developed these special powers. So they are rounded up and they are put into these concentration camps and obviously not treated very nicely at all. So this book centers around our main character Ruby, who did end up surviving, and she has one of these special powers. So that's all I'm going to say about this book, because I think the inside flap synopsis kind of gives away a little bit too much, but I absolutely loved this series. It will literally rip your heart out, but then like just make you feel so good inside. Oh my god. Literally all of the feels, every single one of them. But it was just so good. I absolutely loved it. I gave every book 5 out of 5 stars, and it's definitely a new all-time favorite of mine. It was so good. If you're looking for a new dystopian trilogy, definitely pick this one up. It's so unique and just so awesome. Just read it. So after finishing that trilogy, I was kind of hoping for something more light and fluffy, so I picked up The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. This is actually a children's book. I'm not sure what ages, but the writing in it kind of makes me think it's for pretty young ages, but I've heard amazing things about it, so I decided to pick it up. It's about this gorilla named Ivan, he lives in this zoo in a mall, so obviously the conditions aren't very ideal for a full-grown gorilla, and he also has his friends who are an elephant and a dog, and it's not a good situation for any of them. So this book was actually a lot darker and more intense than I thought it was going to be. There was a lot of killing for a children's book. Like, it was pretty graphic at times, I think, just for kids. I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about this book. I mean, the illustrations in it were really cute. Like, there's the elephants. They're adorable. So, like, I really don't know how I felt about this book. I think I gave it a 3.5 stars. I don't remember, though. So then after that, I needed an actual light and fluffy book, so I picked up Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, because I figured if I was ever going to get a light and fluffy book, Rainbow Rowell would be my best bet. So I absolutely loved this book. I read it in one sitting. The same day that I read The One and Only Ivan, I was up until like 4 in the morning reading. I just thought it was fantastic. This is definitely my favorite of Rainbow Rowell's books. I am going to be filming a review on this book, so I will link that here and down below when I do it. So this centers around the main character, Kath, and her twin sister, Ren. They're both going off to university, but Ren has decided that she wants to kind of branch out, so they're not going to be rooming together. And Kath is really nervous about this because she's kind of an introvert. She doesn't really like to come out of her shell, and she's really nervous about getting a new roommate and everything. She doesn't know if they are going to accept her addiction to Simon Snow. She is a major fangirl for Simon Snow, which is kind of this book's idea of Harry Potter, which is weird because they do mention Harry Potter in this book. But anyways, so she is absolutely obsessed with Simon Snow. She writes fan fiction and everything. And this is basically just following her journey through her first year in university and all of her struggles and everything. It's really cool, really awesome. You should read it. Yes. Just yes. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Then after that, I decided to pick up a few graphic novels. So first I read Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. So this book is kind of creepy and a lot of people really like it for that. I just felt like it was a little bit too weird for me. I'll show you guys some of the illustrations. The illustrations were really cool and really interesting, and they fit really well with the story. I think I gave this 3 out of 5 stars in the end. I did like some of the stories, but most of them I felt like were a little bit too out there for my taste. But I can see why other people would like it. Then after that, I read Blankets by Craig Thompson. This is actually a graphic memoir, and I read this because Stephanie Perkins really turned to this when she was writing Isla and the Happily Ever After, because one of the main characters, Josh, he is doing his own graphic memoir. So I decided I would pick this up because it seemed pretty interesting. I think I gave this one 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't really like it at all. The art style, I felt like it was just very comic, like newspaper comic, and like that's great, but I didn't really enjoy it too much. So I don't know. It just wasn't for me. It was a really religious story, and I'm not really into that. And then the last book I read in November is Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. So this is also a graphic novel. So the illustrations are all kind of based on like this color here, which I thought was very intriguing. I did really enjoy this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed the first 200 pages probably. I thought were really awesome, like really interesting, building up to kind of this climax, and then the climax just kind of fell flat for me. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know. I just felt like it was a very weird climax. I liked it other than that though. So overall, 4 out of 5 stars. It would have been a 5 out of 5 if the ending had been better. So those are all the books I read in the month of November. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't seen my end of the year TBR, I will link that down below. But like I said there, I'm not sure how many books I'm going to be able to read because on the one hand, I have finals for 2 weeks, which I'm not reading anything during finals. But then on the other hand, I have 2 weeks of relatively free time other than like family stuff and work, which work is probably going to be crazy because it's holidays. But that's why I'm not really sure what I'm going to be able to read. I'm going to try my best to read as much as I can, but next semester I really need to focus on school more because I kind of slacked off a little bit this semester. It's not that I'm failing or anything, but I'm not doing as well as I could be. But yeah, so let me know what you read in November and what your #1 favorite book was that you read in November. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!